Hey guys, so recently I've been asked by a few people for certain advice about creating content on YouTube. Somebody asked me basically to do a video giving my best advice for somebody who is a beginner on YouTube. Now, I by no means am, you know, the best of the best YouTuber out there. I'm somebody who is still beginning. I don't know everything, okay? I'm still at the beginning myself, but I feel like I have embraced and figured out what works best for me on my budget and how I try and get as much as I can out of the platform as possible, meanwhile staying within my means. So I'm gonna give you the best advice that I can give you if you are a beginner, you've never done YouTube before, you want to do YouTube, you want to take that leap of faith, but you're not too sure what to do. What's the best advice that I can give a newbie to YouTube? Okay, so first thing, really think about the type of content that you want to create. I would say please be sure that you know what you want to create, because for me personally, when I first started out, I know I've said this probably 2, 3 or 4 times already, but when I first started YouTube, I wanted to do makeup tutorials, I wanted to do reviews, but I didn't have the right kind of equipment. That's how I felt. I didn't have the right kind of equipment, the right kind of lighting to do those kinds of videos. So I ended up doing unboxing videos of like monthly subscriptions, and I found that that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to do the makeup tutorials, but I just felt like my camera wasn't good, which was my laptop, and so I just kind of like did the next best thing, but doing the next best thing didn't make me happy. So I would say to you, always like know what you want to do, know what you want to be at the forefront of your channel. If it's makeup, if it's unboxings, if it's gadget reviews, if it's cooking food, if it's toy unboxing, or whatever it is that you want to do, be sure that you create the content that you know you're going to enjoy making, because if you don't enjoy making it, it's going to become a chore, and when it becomes a chore, it's like having to go to work. Personally, I'd like to stay in bed, but now that I'm at the point where I'm making the kind of content that I want, like when I just said, you know, forget it, I don't care if I don't care if I don't have the best camera, I'm still going to go ahead and I'm going to make those videos, those tutorials and those reviews. And once I started making those videos, even though it was not the best quality, and it still isn't, but once I started making those videos, I wanted to come on camera a lot more. That's why I would say know what you want to do and do it. I would advise starting with 1 day a week. When I say that, I mean like 1 day of uploading a week. Getting used to sitting in front of the camera, talking to the camera, because physically you're not speaking to anyone. Like right now as I'm speaking, I'm not talking to a human being. I'm speaking to a device. I'm speaking to a camera, which will later on carry my message onto you who is now watching this video. So at first when I started YouTube, I felt really silly talking in front of a device. But if I had obligated myself to, let's say, 4 days a week of uploading at that point, it would have been very difficult for me to create 4 days worth of content, knowing that I have this fear, this phobia of sitting in front of the camera and speaking to it. It would have been really, really difficult. I'm not saying that you're going to have that same fear and disposition that I did, because not everybody goes into it thinking and feeling that way, but I know a lot of people do. Also on top of that, the editing as well. If you haven't ever done any editing, you're going to have to get yourself accustomed to editing and figuring out what button does what, how you're going to get around doing certain things, especially if it's just you yourself who is creating the content. And if you've never done any editing on any kind of program before, you're gonna have to give yourself some time to really come to terms with it and get to grips with it. Because at first, for me personally, you might be a whiz, But for me personally, I had to get used to how to cut certain dead space out. I had to get used to how to make certain effects work. And even though it is pretty much straightforward, still just getting used to it so I can do it in a timely fashion, I had to get accustomed to that. So if you are a complete beginner from, you know, working from the ground up, give yourself the time to learn before obligating yourself to like a 4-day-a-week or a 3-day-a-week upload. You've got to be able to handle creating the content and then editing it and then uploading it, as well as making thumbnails and things like that. Make sure you give yourself time to learn how to do these things so that you're not stuck and struggling and panicking like, oh my gosh, I need to upload tomorrow, but I haven't shot yet and I'm still editing the last video. And you don't want it to become like a frantic situation. Take it like one step at a time. Unless you already own it, don't go and buy expensive camera and lighting equipment for your videos. YouTube isn't for everyone. I've come across channels where they've started uploading and they probably have like 3 or 4 months worth of content, and then all of a sudden, bang, they drop off the radar. And it's like, where did this person go? They were creating content and now they're gone. And again, I'm not saying that that's going to be the situation with yourself, but keep in mind that if you are just starting out, another thing to keep in mind is that the chances are you haven't yet met the threshold to be a part of the YouTube program that they have, the partnership program that they have. So you're not going to be making any money back. So if you invest money into camera equipment, lighting equipment, editing programs, etc., etc., and then you find out that it's not right for you or something to that effect, you've just gone and wasted a whole heap of money. What I would definitely advise is just start off, like use your camera phone. If you don't have a camera, just use your phone. A lot of phones nowadays have really high quality cameras built in, and you can just use that as your means of filming. Or even if you just get a decent camera which gives clear enough visuals, like do that. But I wouldn't say go and spend thousands of pounds. And I mean, there's some cameras out there which are ridiculous. You know, like in the drop down box, some people put the equipment and the programs that they use, and when you go and check out the type of camera and the equipment that they use, and it's like, oh my god, they spend thousands of pounds of dollars on fancy equipment. But a lot of the time these people are in the place where they have been doing YouTube for a number of years, so it's worthwhile for them to invest into that kind of equipment. But if you're just starting out, unless you already have it, I really wouldn't advise going and buying really expensive equipment. I mean, as I said, use your phone. If you don't have a camera, just use your phone. I mean, you can get really cheap ring lights. Like my ring light I got from eBay, it was probably about 70 or 80 pounds, if that. It was something along those lines. I didn't spend bombshell on it, and I've been looking at some soft boxes as well for about 30 pounds for the pair. I don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds on items that really I can't afford right now. I'm not making any money back from YouTube as yet as it is, so I don't really want to, you know, do that as yet. I'm not at that point, but I do feel like I'm in this for the long haul. So maybe in the future I will, but right now I'm gonna stick with what I've got. I would advise using free editing programs such as iMovie. If you have a MacBook, it already comes installed on your MacBook. And also there's a thumbnail editing, well, not there's like a Photoshop dupe which I use to create my thumbnails. It's called GIMP. I'm able to create the kind of thumbnails that I would like to create. Photoshop is really expensive, and when I looked into it, I was just kind of like mind blown at how much Photoshop costs. And it's like, it's not worth it for me to spend so much money on a program. There must be a free program out there. And I remember asking one of my friends, like, do you know of any programs? And he said, yeah, try this program, it's called GIMP. used that and I downloaded it, and I was able to learn what I needed to learn in order to create thumbnails that I wanted to create. And I also used that for some of my pictures as well. Like if I need to splice 2 pictures together, I can use GIMP to do that. And as I mentioned before, using iMovie, that's a free program if you have a MacBook, and I'm sure that there's other free video editing software out there on the net. All you need to do is look. You don't need to be spending coins on these editing programs, okay? Maybe when you get like your 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, do whatever you need to do. But I'm just trying to save you a little bit of money, but still get you to the goal that you are trying to get to, okay? Something that I wish I was doing sooner: share your videos. I used to be a little bit embarrassed, and I used to be kind of like, I don't know if I want people to see this. Like I just wanted people who I didn't know to see it. But now it's just kind of like, I want everybody. I don't care if you're my family, my friend from way back when, a new person from over there, that corner of the globe. I want everybody to see my content. And what I have noticed is that when I share my content, I get a lot more feedback and I get a lot more views, I get a lot more subscribers. And I've noticed that there was a period where I had shared my videos on a lot of beauty groups that were on Facebook. I would share my videos in those groups and they get a lot of traction, and I got a lot of subscribers back. So I would advise, definitely share your content in order for people to see your content, in order for you to grow as well. And as I said, like Facebook beauty groups is they're a great place to start. And yeah, you will probably find that you'll gain more subscribers by doing that. Like, don't do what I did, don't wait. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, so when you're doing things like reviews, be honest. Be honest about any products, services, experiences that you've had. People can tell when you're being fake. Like when I'm watching people's videos, I can tell when they're being fake. I can tell when it's kind of like, oh no, she didn't really mean that. It's just the look in her eye or the way her body language was. You can kind of tell, because when you watch people, you start to learn their demeanor, you start to learn the way that they are on camera, you start to learn, and you can tell when someone's a little bit off about something. And that's why I just prefer just to be honest, because honesty is the best policy. And personally, I don't want you to go out and spend your money on something that I know that I don't like. If I've told you I don't like something and you decide that you want to go and get it, that's on you, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not the one who's here to, you know, dictate to people what they can and can't buy. But if I've seen it in my comment section where I've said I just don't like that product, and they've said, I'm still gonna try it. Let me know how that goes. Like, please do, because maybe you will like something that I didn't like, but at least I was honest in the first place. And no one can say that I wasn't honest about how I felt about something. And when you're honest, people will then come back to you because they know that they can trust you. And that's something that I feel is kind of lost sometimes in the YouTube world, is that people are happy to say, yes, I like something, when they really don't, because they're getting some kind of monetary gain from it. And I'm all about people getting their coin, but quite frankly, I don't want to be spending my money because you misled me on this item. Like, just so you can get a bit more money in the bank, that upsets me. I'm not down for that. I'm really not. So be honest, because people can always tell. Reply to your comments. I cannot stress this enough. Reply to the comments. While you are still a beginning YouTuber, the comments should be very easy for you to handle, because you're not gonna have loads and loads and loads and loads. You're not gonna have like hundreds of thousands in one video. Once you get to that point, you know, like, oh, I can't reply to everything. But if you can reply to the people who are in your comment section, I cannot tell you how many people I have unsubscribed to simply because they do not reply to anyone. Not just me. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you never reply to me, but you reply to everybody else. No, I mean people who don't reply to anyone. in any of their videos, and it really annoys people. And I've seen so many people say, you never reply to any of your comments, I'm unsubscribing. And I have done that as well. Like, I want to interact with you, and I feel like interacting with people lets other people know when they're watching the videos, it lets other people know that, hey, that person actually replies and has a conversation with their subscribers, with their viewers, and it kind of entices them to come into conversations with you as well. And that could be the difference between a new sub or somebody never coming back to your channel again. It really can be. So I would definitely advise reply to the comments while they are still in a very manageable position. Use sites like Social Blade to gauge your growth and your future projections. So this is a website that I use every single day. Everybody knows about Social Blade, but just in case you don't know about Social Blade, it's a website where you can type in your channel name and it will tell you how many subscribers that you got that day or so far, how many views you've had, and you can track it day by day. It also has a tab where you can check out your future projections. They're not always accurate, they are rough. So for example, it will tell you that you are due to get 1,000 subscribers in 100 days, for example. It gets these figures by looking at how many subscribers you get every single day, how fast you get them, etc, etc, and it gives you a rough estimate on when you should be able to reach certain subscriber milestones, certain view count milestones, and just seeing your day-to-day growth as well. I find this very, very helpful simply because I find the YouTube analytics a little bit difficult at the moment. I'm still trying to figure it out, but while I'm figuring it out, at least I have something to gauge, which is Social Blade. So yeah, I use it like several times a day. I'm constantly refreshing. And lastly, but most importantly, just be yourself. Be who you are on camera, because as I said previously, people can tell when you're not being genuine, when you're not being honest, when you're just not the person that they're used to coming to the channel to see. So just be yourself, be happy, and just enjoy being a new YouTuber, because things are only going to go up and up and up for you, and I can't wait to see what content you produce. So hopefully you found that helpful, hopefully you found that insightful, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.